Ramble.
Thank you to Sweet Scoop and ButcherBox for sponsoring this episode. What up, you guilty whores, my guilty slores? We recorded this episode a long time ago. In fact, this is a very exclusive episode because it was our first ever recorded episode with none other than the Miles Bonsignore. We see the comments of everyone being like, yeah, Miles, okay, guess what? We already did that. Duh, that was our first idea. So enjoy this episode. Know that it's a little while ago that we did it. And fucking stay guilty, you little slut.
Hello and welcome to My Guilty Pleasures, the podcast that talks about movies that aren't good, but that doesn't mean they're not great. Rocking a cool 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. Today we are talking about the 2008 Hayden Christensen teleportation classic, Doug Liman's Jumper, a movie that critics called, quote, an erratic action pick with little coherence and lackluster special effects. This movie's got teleportation, something called paladins, Samuel L. Jackson with bleached white hair, and a central romance that is definitely very believable. If you have not seen the movie, do not fret. We are here to talk you through it. I think actually I'm the only one who had not seen this movie, which is very exciting. And I will tell you that by the end, I was screaming at my screen, and I just have so many questions, so we're going to get into all of this. But first, joining me today, one of my co-hosts, Kelsey Darragh. Hello, Kelsey.
Wow. Hi, Zach. Yeah, you got me really hyped up all of a sudden. A Jumper, I found out, is not, in fact, the movie Looper.
Oh, no.
I knew that this was going to happen.
Definitely.
Okay.
How I
All right.
started.
Wait, so hold on. Did you think that we were watching Looper and you're like, oh, I love that movie.
Yes.
That's great.
And my burning question throughout the whole film that I hope you guys can help me answer is Hayden Christensen capable of emoting anything besides horny cry face?
Yeah.
And did he voice over the entire, did he ADR the entire movie?
Yep.
Also joining us, as always, our other co-host, Garrick Bernard, is here. Hello, Garrick.
Hello. No, this was the best movie I've ever seen in my life. Okay. Okay, so whenever people would be like, yo, what would you rather be able to do? Would you ever be able to fly or be invisible? I'd be like, oh, teleportation, easy.
Yeah.
You know, I would jump to it.
That was neither one of your options.
It was neither one of my options because I wanted them to know, first off, this isn't my first rodeo. I know what this question is, and then second off, I'm not an idiot.
Chump.
I'm not a chump.
What Hayden Christensen calls everyone who can't jump in the movie, by the way.
Yeah, right, he does say that.
I wrote this down. I used to be a normal person, a chump just like you.
It's like, I'll beat your ass, bro. I'll fight you.
He starts the movie insulting the audience.
Yeah, love that.
Before we go any further, we have to invite the man that has gifted us with this film today. Our special guest for this episode is none other than Miles Bonsignore.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
You freak. You're the one who suggested this.
Okay, so this movie, I will say that when this movie came out, I probably described it as one of my favorite movies.
Yes.
I agree.
I probably was like,
You
my
also
favorite
described
movie-
it that way.
I was
Yeah.
hot lead,
Of
Rachel
course.
Bilson.
It's hot off of a Chuck guest appearance.
Oh, really?
Not
Oh,
from
she's
the
on
OC.
Chuck. That's how she got started on Chuck.
Wait, do you not know Rachel Bilson?
From
OC.
The OC.
The OC.
No.
Summer
I didn't know it was
Roberts.
But this is post OC, right? No?
It
Yeah,
must
this
have
is
been.
post-
Yeah, this is post OC, maybe pre-Chuck, NBC's Chuck. By the way, you seen Chuck?
No.
Yeah, I've seen
I have
Chuck.
no idea what you're
Okay,
talking
tell us about
Not
your relationship
Michael-
with Jumper.
Not Michelle Bilson.
This is not the Chuck
Rachel.
episode.
I wish. I fucking love Chuck. I will say that I describe this movie as one of my favorite movies of all time.
It is.
I love the teleporting. I think it is cheeky. I think it is fun. I think it is cheeky. And then, honestly, I laughed out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Kristen Stewart comes on screen,
Oh,
I
God.
wanted to give a standing
There it
ovation.
is.
Oh, God.
There it is.
I out loud clapped
Yeah.
because I
There
just
it is.
it's Kristen Stewart.
Is doing like a small role.
You
What
gotta
is like
explain what this is the final scene. This is almost like post credits.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
know he's going to his long lost mom's house. And when he knocks on the door
Mhm.
and you don't know if he wants to fuck Kristen
He
Stewart
kinda does.
or if he's
Yeah.
like, you're my sister because we look so much alike,
Yeah.
which
Right.
No, they don't.
Okay, though, but if you had to cast a sibling, there is no one better. Are you kidding?
Off of
personality and acting style?
They
personality.
are very much the same person.
Their acting style, they were meant for each other. When I saw that, I stood up and screamed
you would just have two
and
people
clapped.
staring at each other for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Wait, but my question is, why was that? Was it because we're leading to female-driven sequel, or is it part of the novel?
I think it just had. I think okay. So it was a novel. It was a book. It was a book. It was based off a book, and this was the first movie that my brother took me to go see, and which is why it stands out. And it was because he read the book and he was just let's just see.
Oh, your brother's a nerd.
My brother's a nerd.
I was thinking
big
older brother finally letting Rick tag along, but it's your brother was like, hey, Gary. And you're like, get out of my room.
Just imagine that, but the type that wasn't bullied because he's 6'5".
Oh, so he's
220.
lanky too.
He's yoked as shit. It's so weird. It's so weird.
I can't wait to see a picture.
Oh my God. My brother is, I'll show you a picture when we leave, but my brother is the type where you see him and you're just like, why did you play sports, man? And it's just I love books. That's
no.
And so he was that type. But he took me to go see his movie, and he was explaining the lore in it and how the jump scars worked, and how in the book originally it was he was opening a portal and walking through. And that's how they kept finding him. They kept just it was just this giant door that would open.
Miles, is there anything else with your relationship with this movie that you feel that you want to share?
I do think it brings me back to a simpler time of cinema where not everything needed to subvert. I feel like every superhero movie now needs to be for smart people.
Okay, all right.
You know what I mean?
I have something for this.
Marvel,
I
I love Marvel movies, and I don't really enjoy DC movies that much. But I will say that I like that Jumper is just he can teleport, and that's it.
That's all you need.
We don't really need much
but
else.
I think that the movie takes that seriously.
Yeah.
Where it's just what would you do? Would you rob a bank or would you be a superhero? No, I'm robbing banks, bro. What are you talking about? That's the first thing I'm doing.
Also, we have to remember, this was 2008. The world was a different time. I watched this as 2020, Kelsey being this is a simpleton film.
Yeah.
How dare they not take a risk?
Right.
It's about a girl and a guy. That's all this is.
Right.
And they didn't even try. And then I remembered, this was Obama. We were living. We were hot guy on screen. Yeah. I don't know any better. Dare I even say cinema?
Right. Yeah.
I feel though this movie, it presents, hey, have you always wanted to teleport? We're going to make you not want that dream anymore.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
We're going to ruin the fantasy of teleportation.
I think somebody, imagine the pitch. He was what if you wanted to run away and then you could? Shut up.
As fast as you possibly wanted to in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
And also, the first way that he finds out that he's a jumper, is that what he's called? He's a jumper?
Yeah.
A jumper is through the most traumatic moment of him falling through a frozen lake, through a hole, dying, being drifted away very crazily fast, and then poof, he's gone. And I'm that was wild. Maybe this only happens during trauma. And then he learns how to do it, and he basically just looks like he has to take a shit real bad, and then he transfers. We never go over how this happens, why these certain people have it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm thrilled that you brought this up. Okay, so first of all, he does that right. So he falls through the ice and he jumps. And then later that night, he does it again. And then not the first time, the second time he goes, did I just teleport?
Yeah.
It was not the
first time he jumps and then he's in a library. He jumps to a library and then it immediately cuts to him walking home, and we addressed his mother abandoning him as a kid. We weren't wait a minute, did I just teleport? It was he jumps and then he's So my mom walked out when I was 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're like, wait, are we not going to... You weren't like, maybe I was in psychosis. Maybe I should call the cops. Something bad happened.
And he
That's
moved
real.
to Times Square that evening.
Yeah.
He moved to Times Square the evening after he teleported.
Yes, he did, because he had to get away that badly.
Yeah.
Because he was an abusive father. He had an abusive father figure, I'm sure, who did it right. But
The thing about trauma is interesting because Jamie Bell's character, who we will talk a lot about,
Who's that?
he's the fucking crazy guy.
Oh, Jasper?
oh yeah,
You know his name?
No, he just doesn't look like a
his
Jasper.
name was Griffin.
Oh.
Griffin, yeah.
It seems like his powers was also brought on by trauma because his parents got murdered by Samuel L. Jackson when he was 5 years
Wait,
old.
what?
Yeah,
So-
they say there's a throwaway line. But what I was wondering is like, because he talks, at first he's like, oh, I also had shitty parents. And so I wrote down in my notes, I'm like, wait, do you get teleportation when your parents suck?
Why are we all still here?
Yeah. Right. So the whole thing is that they jump when they're 5. Like that's when the power
No.
gets created.
Yeah.
Like they're just
I remember that.
because the mom at the end was just like, you were 5. That's why I walked out at that age because you jumped and I'm a paladin and I had to kill you right there. So I left. And that's
Miles,
an
what is a
old word.
paladin?
A paladin is a cop.
You don't just fucking know this.
No, I
You know this?
a lot because I like the movie.
That's why he's here, to answer our question.
A paladin is a cop that doesn't like people who can teleport. And they've been around since the Dark Ages. Quote.
No.
That
End
is
quote.
their whole thing. Yeah.
That's the whole
Okay,
thing.
so but paladins are Jesus freaks?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
They
they
are.
like Jesus, and they also like big knives.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck on the fact that I missed his parents were murdered. He
Oh,
says
yeah.
something like, well, it's pretty hard when they're not around.
They should put that, like Amazon should have a feature where it's just subtitles with an accent, like with an accent that doesn't make sense to you. It's just like,
No, it's like
list your
Cockney.
accents that you hate the most. And it's just
my
like
God.
Irish, Scottish, British sometimes,
Right.
Cockney. You know?
Cockney, yeah. I don't know how I missed that. I definitely remember him saying that his parents weren't around.
Yeah.
But when did he talk about them being murdered?
Like it was.
Kind of a throwaway line in the climax, I think.
You mean when he interacts with black guy, white hair?
Oh yeah, like your friend, black guy, white hair. First off, you're in Detroit, Michigan. You know that guy. If you saw a black dude with white hair,
Bleached white hair.
everybody would know who that dude is.
Black,
Yeah.
no, but white.
Yeah, right. It was like in your trash town. He was in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I'm sorry. So this is probably one of the whitest areas, and you're just like, oh, your friend, the one that you hang out with all the time.
Oh, you mean
know?
Roland Cox?
Right.
Oh, I
That
didn't
is
even get his
full name?
name.
Also,
I got black guy, white hair. 'cause
Black guy,
that's
white hair.
all
Yeah.
he's called the entire movie.
So my absolute number one burning question, is jumping supposed to be a metaphor?
For what?
Whoa.
That's my question, and I will.
Wait, what? Why did you gasp like that?
Because I've never thought about
What
that
are you fucking
once.
thinking about?
Because I never thought about it having a deeper meaning.
No.
Wait, well, as of what?
Yeah, right.
Okay, I'll tell you.
That's the question.
Yeah, this is the perfect surface level movie. Did not go any deeper.
Well, but no,
Obviously.
the movie seems to suggest that there is. Okay, I got 2 lines, and they both come very close to each other at the end. So first, you're not a hero, David. You're a jumper. You don't save the girl. Don't you get it?
That was good.
So he's saying, you're not a hero. You're a jumper. You don't save the girl. Right? So already right there, it's like, you're not a hero. You're a jumper. So there's a
So the jumpers are bad.
dichotomy there. And then Sammy Jacks says he says, there's some things you can't jump, David. And that's the moment where I'm like, is this a fucking metaphor?
I
For
thought it
like
was
you
'cause
can't run
jump
away
a
from your
house.
problems? No.
Yeah, because
No.
earlier in the movie,
He was tethered to the house.
I
and,
know.
and earlier in the movie, the Jasper literally says, "My friend tried to jump a building once, but he couldn't." And he's like, why not? He's like, he died. And
he tried
then
to
it
jump
comes
the
back
building.
where it's like Hayden Christensen's so powerful that he did the one thing no jumper's been able to do. That he jumped the house.
Yeah, he
And
jumped the room.
But he didn't jump the house.
the room.
Yeah,
It was a fucking studio apartment in Ann Arbor,
It's like-
Michigan. Just maybe $600 out of
$600,
most
right.
of it. But the first line that you're not supposed to save the girl, like that's telling you exactly what we were saying, that this isn't supposed to be a superhero movie. It's like you were supposed to be a shitty guy. It's no secret that the internet loves cats. And so do we here on this podcast. I've got cats. That's why we are so excited to partner with Sweet Scoop. Their renewable, wheat-based litter gives cat lovers a better choice for their pets, their family, and the environment. Because we all care about the environment, especially here on Guilty Pleasures, baby. We want you and your cat to live long, healthy, sustainable lives. I've been using Sweet Scoop for a while now. I love it, and my cats love it. It's better for cats, 100% natural ingredients. It's better for people, odor neutralizing enzymes, enhanced clumping, and low tracking, and better for the planet. Sweet Scoop is made of renewable, farmer-grown ingredients and is 100% biodegradable. Stuck between litter that works and litter that's pet and planet friendly, Sweet Scoop doesn't make you choose. Go to sweetscoop.com to get a $5 off coupon and find a retailer near you. That's SWHEAT scoop.com. Meow.
Yeah.
But I think that they're trying to say, because, okay, here's another way to ask the question. What is Hayden Christensen's arc in the movie?
He goes from shitty guy to getting pussy.
He hooks up with Rachel Bilson.
He saves the girl. I think
And
that's
he
it.
jumps the house and he doesn't kill black eye, white hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't do a great job of setting it up, but I think what they are trying to say is that Jumpas are selfish and that he is learning to not be
they never.
selfish.
Yeah.
Also, I would like to point
Right.
out the fact that I did not see a single female jumper in this movie.
Yeah. Oh,
Is
yeah.
that something?
There's something there. Rachel
Is it
Bilson, I mean,
dudes
we're
only?
presumed to learn that she will jump.
But she's glitch in the system.
Yeah.
Because that's like a
Right.
big deal as you
She's
learn
like the
how to.
first female.
Yeah. Is that
Oh.
sexist?
Jumper.
Yeah. I wonder what, if there's
But
something
maybe it
male.
is something that's sperm oriented.
I'm glad you're
Cum
here to ask the
jumper.
important questions.
Yeah.
Jizz oriented just jumping.
Jizz jumping.
Yeah, jizz
That
jumping
sounds like a
juice.
good fucking club jam.
Jizz jumping.
Yo, tonight
Get
we
that
jizz jumping.
Get that jizz jumping.
It's just your balls bouncing up
Oh
and down.
my god.
You in the back, I want to see that jizz jumping.
I'm calling Jared right now and told him to put that on a beat.
That's like a
I won't, but
that's
I'm
like
gonna
a
tell
stripper song.
Yeah.
Because you see like if it's at a strip club or whatever and you want to see the jizz jumping off of the carpet.
floor?
Oh, God.
It's
And you gotta like
amazing.
spank your butt hard enough on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh God.
What would you do with jumping power?
The same thing he did.
Make
Like,
Rachel
I
Bilson
don't
fall
think
in
I
love
would.
with you?
What's up?
Make Rachel Bilson?
Yes, yeah, for sure.
He's like, I don't know who she is. I
I
don't
need
care.
that sweet Bill Smith.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
you're missing
Sweet.
out on like prime fapping material of the early 2000s. Rachel Bilson was the silent killer. Okay, you had like the blonde, busty bombshells like
Yeah.
of that age, and like the Misha Barton who like cocaine. Am I right?
Yeah.
She was always solid.
I had a massive crush on Rachel
Yeah.
Bilson in this era. Like
Really?
OC, big time. And it gives me absolutely zero pleasure to report that she is terrible in this movie. And I don't think it's her fault. She was given nothing. I guarantee you, if you were to do a supercut of her lines, 90%,
okay.
I thought she was
90% of the
okay, too.
movie
Thank
is
you.
her going, David. It's
Yeah.
like Schitt's Creek. That's all she says.
David.
That's all she was given.
I agree. I don't think it's her fault.
Women weren't like the leads of films yet, guys.
Yeah.
We weren't
It was
given
Obama.
agency.
Yeah. The one thing
Women
that-
didn't need to be
We
liberated.
didn't have
We had hope.
rights.
Yeah.
The one part that's a little confusing in an otherwise perfect film for me is that so they all think he died, right?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Miles, coming through with
Thank you.
massive.
I'm sorry.
I hadn't seen it in a while and rewatched it. But they all think he died. Okay, so imagine it.
And how did he die?
Drowned horribly. Drowned horribly. A
That's
bully did it.
The worst way to go.
Another kid
Yeah.
murdered him, essentially.
yeah.
Right.
And like many people witnessed it.
Yeah.
That dude should have been in jail. He should
He
have
was
just been
eventually.
coming out.
Yeah.
Like he was eventually. He should have just been coming out of prison.
Yeah.
And
right.
now he sees him and he's like, I'm gonna beat your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta kill you
Right.
because you died on me.
And
or
Rachel
whatever.
Bilson sees him. And by the way, it's her fault that he almost drowned.
Yeah.
That's a famous actress. Who's that
Yeah,
little girl?
yeah, yeah.
I
It
recognized
is.
her. I don't.
She's in shit.
Yeah.
And so I think
It wasn't Abigail
Yeah.
Breslin, right?
but she looks like an Abigail
was like-
Breslin.
No. It was Anna Sophia Robb who had a fucking moment. She was in Bridge to Terabithia.
Oh, yes.
What
She was in
else?
Soul Surfer, which
What
is the movie
else?
where a shark bites her. Dwayne The Rock Johnson's Race to Witch Mountain.
No,
Oh my
I've never
God,
seen any
yeah.
of these.
She was
I've
also
heard
the
of
star of the Carrie Diaries.
them. There it is. There it is.
Scary.
Sex in the City. It's
Sex-
the millennial version of.
She's also Winn Dixie in Because of Winn Dixie.
What is he talking?
You guys don't
I
remember
don't know
Because of
what
Winn
he's
Dixie?
talking about.
Anybody
Winn
know?
Dixie.
Okay, but so he
So
dies.
he dies.
And
And then
Millie,
he shows up at a bar.
well, first he goes to see her mom, and her reaction is just, "You are alive. My daughter's not crazy. You can go find her at the bar."
Well, and also that his dad
Yeah.
has thought either his son died
Yeah.
and drowned and they never found his body. The other option is the dad thinks, well,
fucking
maybe
crazy.
maybe he ran away, which is what they want you
Yeah,
to believe because
right.
he's like troubled kid. But there are 100 prepubescent witnesses to his
Wait, okay.
lake death.
Okay, wait. So his dad doesn't think he died because he came home that night.
Right.
Right.
Dad has-
Exactly.
He came
But,
home
but
that
wait,
night.
whoa. Okay, we're going a million places. The
Yeah.
dad has to fucking know because his wife, Diane Lane, who is radically underutilized in this
Yeah,
movie,
Gorgeous.
the greatest.
Way out of the guy from Walking Dead's league.
But like Michael Rooker is married to Diane Lane,
Crazy.
who is a paladin, so he has to know about jumpers.
Well, do you think
Maybe.
they fuck? Because
I think that it's like a secret organization or a secret like. This is my whole thing.
Get
that
it.
Would like that would fix the movie.
Okay, this is
Oh.
Garrick's one fix.
If the villains were like way more fleshed out, why the fuck? Wait, him saying, "Oh, you guys aren't supposed to have powers."
Thank
because,
you.
You know, it's an abomination against God, and we've been and then the Griffin character says, "Oh, they've been fighting each other since
the medieval
since the
times."
medieval times." So that means that if they've been at war, both teams should be armed. Both teams should know about each other and all of this stuff. And it could have been like a cool like battle between the two rather than just these two ragtag dudes.
Well, that's being saved for the sequel.
I
Right,
gotta
of
hope
course.
not. Because that's origin story shit.
so what are they called?
Paladins.
I
And
never
the
understood
only
that word.
Yeah, the only reason why they're called paladins is because they're old.
I'm trying to wrap my head around like how Diane Lane became a palindrome because
Well,
why
her name is spelled the
Like-
same forward and backwards.
yeah.
wouldn't to your point of like wouldn't the husband know? And I'm like, no way, it's secret society, and plus they don't fuck, so they probably don't talk. But like,
Yeah.
Oh, they fuck.
That's how he came.
Michael
to
Rooker got that
existence.
good.
oh, yeah, he still had hair then. But like, what about this organization? Like, where does she tell him she's going for work? Is it like a Ministry of Magic where she like flushes herself down the toilet and like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna try and bring Harry Potter into every single episode?
Well, and this weirded me out too. So Samuel Jackson, he states that jumpers are against God and only God should have that power, which is why he's killing them, which might, oh God. Okay, first of all, he created the power to go through the jump scars. So he, as someone who believes that this is cheating God, has created technology
box.
to himself
Yes.
cheat God.
A shiny box.
Okay, Miles,
he
in your
does
understanding of
self-love.
in your understanding of paladins, are they not part of the government? Because if jumpers were real,
Yeah.
They're the NSA.
well, but no,
Right.
okay, no, he says he's from different organizations. But if jumpers were real, the government would fucking get that and harness it and like turn it into, first of all, technology for the military, but then fucking Bezos would get his hands on it and be like, yo, we're bringing Amazon packages to everybody.
Yeah.
I do believe that they are like a secret alpha wing within the government. They're sort of a shadow organization.
Wait, okay, so I'm still a little confused at why Samuel L. Jackson is so mad at these guys.
Yeah.
They didn't explain.
He had zero
like,
backstory.
If they explain like that his family got killed somehow, or he like a jumper came in and dropped his dad off the roof.
That'd be dope.
That'd be amazing. Yeah. Like if it just started off with like a young Samuel L. Jackson watching his dad
with
fall.
white hair.
Yes.
With white
That's
hair.
why his hair's white.
His hair turned white.
Yeah.
He saw such a horrific thing, and he's just like, oh no.
And he forgot his own name, and he was like, black guy, white hair.
That's how he introduces himself.
Yeah.
But like there's a movie Chronicle.
Never
Love
seen that?
Chronicle.
Chronicle
Yeah.
was phenomenal,
Great
and
movie.
it did that very well. Where the whole movie is from the villain's perspective, where they get superpowers, and he's just like, man, I'm a troubled teen. I need to go and get money, and then he just slowly turns into a supervillain because he's the best one with the power or whatever.
Yeah.
And it takes like the other two to like take him down.
So it's interesting that you bring up villains because I was like, okay, obviously Samuel L. Jackson like has never played a good guy in his life. Even when he's playing a good guy, he's a bad guy.
He kicks ass
He's
in
Nick.
this movie.
He's Nick Fury.
I don't know what that means, but that's probably a bad guy.
You don't know Nick Fury?
God, this was the dry run.
Yeah, I agree. This is a test run.
This
Okay,
was a test
so
run.
that's what I'm saying. Villain. So you're like, okay, clear villain because he's got white hair?
Because he got white hair.
And
Yes.
we watched
He's a
him
black
like
man, of course.
stab an Asian guy on
Yeah,
a
right.
tree.
But by the way, to your hero point, there's a moment early in the movie where there's on the TV screen, like people are drowning and like no one can get to them. And he just goes like, dope, and walks out. Like they go out of their way to show you that he's a
shitty
dick.
guy.
He's a bad
Yeah.
guy.
He's
bad.
not a
They should've
likable
leaned into
lead.
that.
Here's what tripped me out is the guy you think his name is Griffin. I'm pretty sure it's Jasper because look at him. He's
He
wearing
does
like
look
a
like a
fucking
Jasper.
leather jacket with like a chipped tooth, and they're like, put a mole on him so he can't stand a chance next to Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, hot Rupert Grint.
Yes. Oh, how dare you. Jasper weirdly
Not Jasper.
becomes the villain at one point.
Yeah.
Can we talk about this weird faux
He was-
bromance?
Okay, so
Yeah.
he was the most interesting character.
Agreed.
He was the most like fleshed out character because
Jumper.
he was just like, I gotta kill all of them.
Jamie Bell is genuinely awesome.
First of all, how did he follow Hayden Christensen? He jumped through his jump scars because
Yeah.
he knew more?
He
Yeah.
figured it out.
Because he was
just
an
like-
orphan sooner?
Kelsey,
Like,
did you never take a science class?
I excelled in liberal arts.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hayden Christensen's character, he was just like,
I love
like,
Garrick is now the expert. Miles is no longer
I'm stopping the expert.
no, we're the experts.
You
We're looking at each other.
love this movie.
I love this fucking movie.
Okay. I liked it a lot, but not for these reasons.
He went through his scar or whatever, and he was like, "How the fuck did you get here?"
Yeah.
and he was
Obviously.
like, "I went through your scar or whatever," and then he just was like, "Okay, cool," and then he just figured it out because he was just following him as they were fighting or whatever.
Right.
He's smart.
But he's smart. He figures shit out.
But
That's what he does.
why did he weirdly become the villain after they decided to team up
So,
and take on Black Eye White Hair?
He was like, "I am going to sacrifice your girlfriend, in order
Which
to
was
kill
a
all of them."
choice.
Which? Wait, what do you mean? Like
that was when that happened. I was like,
You cried.
You're his best friend now. You can't fuck his girl like that.
He's been trying to get him out. He's been trying to get him out of there, out of his lair or whatever. He called it a lair.
He literally goes, it's a lair.
It's a lair.
And what's the point?
I mean, since Jamie Bell was 5, when he saw
Yeah.
Black Eye White Hair murder his parents,
Like Harry Potter.
he has lived for the one goal of killing Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
So
I'm
even
like,
Rachel Bilson's hotness, he was
Can't
like,
stand in the
fuck
way.
her.
He was gonna kill that whole apartment complex
Yeah.
because he had
Yes.
a nuke.
He was gonna
He had a
nuke.
nuclear weapon.
That changed so
I'm
quickly,
sorry.
though.
Yeah.
Like, you never see the bro switch that
Yeah, it
fast.
was big.
Jamie Bell, he is mad at Hayden Christensen for following him for like the second, act of the movie. But in the first act of the movie, he's stalking Hayden Christensen.
Because he got good at his
Oh,
own
yeah.
game. He was like, how you like me now? He jumped
Well, he's
into
just
his
sitting-
scar.
He's like sitting up in Rome watching him on his date. He's like,
Yeah.
like little amateur down there. And then he's like his intro scene where the first time he talks, he's peeing in the Coliseum.
That's
It's just
great.
fun.
The coolest of cool.
Very cool.
I've been there.
You've peed in the Coliseum.
Down in the Coliseum.
But he is so much more likable to me than Hayden Christensen, who they give me no reason to like Hayden Christensen ever.
Tell me Hayden Christensen shouldn't have been Joseph Gordon-Levitt in this movie.
Okay.
Huh.
Now he should have been Andrew Garfield.
Oh, okay.
Because they're the same person.
Andrew Garfield is the glowed up Hayden Christensen.
With bigger hair.
he's the better actor version of him. But
He's gay.
I was
Andrew Garfield is for sure gay. Hear it first.
Welcome to our next segment, Outing Celebrities.
Outing celebs.
That I can't.
Andrew, your time is up. Open that door and strut on out of that closet, buddy. He was dating Emma Stone.
He was dating Emma Stone during Spider-Man, and Hayden Christensen was
that's called a
dating
beard.
Rachel Bilson
They were dating
during this movie.
Shut up!
Am I right?
I
on
knew
that?
it. Those two were acting like they were fucking off
Behind
camera.
exactly.
Who, Rachel Bilson and Hayden?
It wasn't a relationship because they weren't comfortable enough with each
got
other.
you, got you.
Yeah.
And you could see that in their acting. You were like, they fuck, but they don't know each other. And now they have to come to work every day. Like she didn't just come out of his hotel room and get in a different SUV.
So you saw the sexual
Oh,
chemistry.
I saw it.
I'm going to say I saw it too in that kiss in the hotel. But I will say this.
I saw zero.
If your childhood crush came back from the dead and took you to Italy, would you wait to kiss them until you got to Italy? Because they wait
a second.
long time.
Holy shit.
Oh, shit.
Hayden and Millie. Fast forward 7 years and the relationship is stronger than ever and they're expecting their first child.
What?
The two got engaged.
What?
Christensen.
What?
Got engaged in 2008,
That's the year this movie came out.
but took a break in 2010, but reportedly called off their engagement because, wait for it, problems with their long distance relationship.
Because he was too busy jumping.
Thank you, Rick, for being the only one who He was still like, blah, blah, blah. But
Wow.
wait, they have a fucking kid together.
That's crazy.
Wait, but then Rachel Bilson was dating
Adam Brody. No.
This makes the movie
No,
much better.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I agree.
I knew I saw something. I was like, you're going to put your fucking baby in me.
That is so
Looks.
crazy to me though, because to me watching, they could not be more uncomfortable with each other.
Because they were fucking.
They're
So
acting.
I
But
think they are the creators of the awkward couple because Andrew I brought up Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone and Spider-Man. They were doing that whole cutesy shit too, and like the perks of being a wallflower. What's the fucking Zooey Deschanel and
500 Days of Summer.
500 Days of Summer, yeah.
Yeah, that whole bullshit. I think they were like, that was like the beginning. That was the beginning of Nick Fury and an awkward fucking relationship.
Oh my God. Okay,
cutesy
well,
relationship.
Okay, so we almost got here before.
Yeah.
But when Millie found out that David wasn't dead,
Yeah.
her reaction was wild to me.
But
Yeah.
he put the snow globe on her step.
So
she's
knew
always
he
known.
was-
She's known.
that I forgot
she's
about.
she
mad
didn't-
at him.
She's not mad. Yeah, she's just
But
like,
she
she's
did
like,
nothing.
"You've
She
been
was
here."
just like, "Oh, hey, what's up? Welcome
Yeah,
back."
wouldn't you be if a guy fucking may or may not have been a ghost and dropped off a
screaming.
snow
I would say,
globe?
First
Yeah,
I wouldn't
yell.
be playing it cool.
Okay.
Holy
Also-
shit. Yeah.
This is
Also,
such a chick thing.
that okay, but they should have gotten a better teenage actor because for one they look nothing alike,
Yeah.
and then for two he shrunk 3 inches. That kid was tall as fuck, and then Hayden Christensen is like 5'7". I was just like, yeah, that's believable for sure.
Now, Hayden Christensen, is he hot or is he creepy?
I like
think
that
he's
question.
hot in
I
this.
think coming off of, I think he's a hot dude. Because coming off of watching him in the third Star Wars, where he's just full dark side.
Is he hot?
What about his deep V the whole time?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
about
I
it.
had that shirt. By the way, I had the volume
I'm
up
so
to
about
11
it.
shirt. But it wasn't V-neck because I can't pull off a V-neck. But like just that
Sure you can,
shit.
man.
No, Fuck no.
Your older brother could.
Yes, he could.
Woo-wee, it is summer, baby. I am outside redoing my patio all month long. And guess what? ButcherBox is helping me spend less time searching for high quality meat so we can spend more time making memories. ButcherBox delivers humanely sourced meat of your choosing right to your doorstep. Options like 100% grass-fed and finished beef, wild-caught lobster tails, wild-caught Alaskan salmon, and sugar nitrate-free bacon. When I get my box delivered, I'm like, baby, only bacon from head to toe in my box. It's so customizable. That's why I love using it. Right now, ButcherBox is offering new members 2 free lobster tails and 2 free ribeyes in your first box. What? The process is simple. Sign up and choose your box and delivery frequency. They offer 4 curated box options and a custom box that let you choose your favorite cuts. ButcherBox is offering our listeners 2 5-ounce lobster tails and 2 10-ounce ribeyes for free in your first box. You can only get this special deal when you sign up for a new membership at butcherbox.com/guilty. That's butcherbox.com/guilty for free lobster tails and ribeyes in your first box.
Thing that I noticed when I was rewatching the movie is like, so he can jump all over the place. Obviously, we know this.
Yeah,
No way.
he's a jumper.
He's a jumper.
He jumps.
When he's eating breakfast on top of the Egyptian Sphinx, and it pulls out, and there are thousands of tourists. They can see him on the Sphinx, right?
They can undo it.
Oh,
yeah.
about-
David's back.
I'm so glad you brought this up because I wrote down probably 16 different times where somehow this society of parallels or whatever they're called has been a secret for whatever. I told you I never understood it. In every accent I couldn't figure it out. But they just throw all fucking caution to the wind in the climax act 3, where not only does he pull a double-decker bus from London into Saudi Arabia,
That was awesome.
but then he
coolest moment
starts
I've ever
pulling
seen.
taxi cabs from India into fucking another desert. I don't know. I only knew one. But like, they get so fucking reckless.
Well, Kelsey, you're arguing that they're reckless in the third act. I would argue that he is exceptionally stupid and careless the entire movie. He is so sloppy, and even after he knows, like, Act 1, Samuel L. Jackson is in his apartment beating the shit out of him, and he's like, "Hey, babe, you want to go to Rome with me?"
Yeah.
It's like, you need to be hiding forever.
But he flies Delta to Rome. He takes Delta to Rome.
First class,
He
though.
leaves a
first
paper
class.
trail.
Yeah.
He's like, gotta get this pussy first. Fight black eye, white hair later.
The funniest shit is that the way that he figured out he was a jumper is because he didn't know how to use a door. He forgot how to use the door to his apartment, and he was just like, "Nah, fuck it." And he's like, "Haven't used a door in a while, huh?"
Yeah, that was really good.
It was so fun. It's like, you don't know how to open the door to your own apartment? Are you out of your mind, bro? You cannot do this.
I've been jumping so long.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the elevator. When I was like, okay, you live in a Manhattan, like, guarded apartment, like doorman situation, but you're gonna tell me they don't have cameras in the elevator where you're jumping every day?
True. That's very true.
Now,
Also, why are you walking in the front door? Jump home. What are you doing?
Yeah, that was odd.
Jump home to a different spot, to another spot. Don't walk
Maybe
through
he's
it.
really got to keep up that relationship with the door
with the
guy and
door
his
guy.
sports team.
I think they're trying to show that he's nice. He's
yeah, like,
oh,
I'm human.
Yeah,
Right.
I guarantee you that's the only scene that I can think of where they were attempting to show that Hayden is like, I like this guy, right?
Yeah.
It's
He's
just
good.
That he's nice to the doorman.
Right.
He has sex with that blonde girl. Maybe that's...
Yeah.
Oh, the Swedish chick.
You remember that? That was sort of a moment where
pretty
they're kind
cool.
of establishing that he was kind of a charming...
And then he fucking busts and fucking leaves.
busts and teleports out of there.
We have to talk about the Empire State Building in this movie.
Okay. Yeah. There are a lot of locations.
There's always
There's a lot of iconic locations in this movie, right? We're in the Colosseum. We see the Giza, which also reminds me of gyoza every time I say it. But there is a fight scene where they jump off the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
And that's like the beginning of this crazy, like funny, are they bros or are they villains fight scene. But the Empire State Building, 2 grown adult human men
appear out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And are falling. Are we not going to be a little weirded out by that? Like,
Right.
did no one see that out of their window?
Cell phones existed in 2008. You need to be much more careful. This movie needed like the fucking comic book nerd who lived in the basement, like yelling at his mom to make him a ham sandwich, but then goes downstairs and has a collection of jumper paraphernalia. And he's been tracking this for years. And I'm going to help you bring down black man, white hair. That was the missing. Like, we needed who would play him? Like a Zach Galifianakis.
I was going to
type.
say, you're thinking of like a nerdy, like
Garrick's brother, but not hot.
Yeah. But you gotta like think, you watch Spider-Man all the time and he's just like, I gotta go, blah, blah, blah. And like Zendaya in Far From Home calls him out. She was like, oh, you wanted to talk to me because you're Spider-Man. And he's like, wait, no, I was trying to tell you that I had a crush on you. He's like, no, you're Spider-Man. You always leave, blah, blah, blah. So on and so. And she like tracks the shit. It's like, when he leaves, when he's here, you're gone. When he's gone, you're here. It makes sense.
Funny.
And so like, I don't think everybody's been saying that joke really for like a long time, but for somebody to actually just do it in a movie and stop like dealing with like the suspended disbelief of it all happened in 2018.
Wow.
So, 2008, go for it. Caution to the
there
wind.
were no rules to this movie,
No,
which I think that's what made it fun, is like there were also no stakes. What was going to happen? Hayden Christensen was going to die.
Yeah.
And I like that he also chose not to kill black man, white hair at the end. Because it was like, that means I'm a good dude. It's like, well, no, you've shown this whole movie, which is 8 years of you being a bad person.
That was the person he should have killed.
Yeah, he's gonna
the only one.
Yeah.
That's the one that you killed.
You let him go.
Yeah. Also, he's dead. He's
didn't
gonna starve to death. He's in the middle of the Grand
In
Canyon.
fact, he's like, I didn't feed you to the sharks. He's like, no, you left him to starve to death in the desert.
arguably
That is
worse.
I would argue that this is one of the most nihilistic movies I have ever seen in my life. There's a moment where Jamie Bell, Jasper for Kelsey.
Thank you.
Jasper Bell.
Jasper
His name
Bell.
is Jasper.
Jasper teleports a taxi driver into, was it?
A war zone.
Yeah,
like
a war
the Gaza
zone.
Strip.
Oh my
Reception.
God, that's really...
And he goes, oh, I hate war. And then a tank drives over the taxi, crushes the man.
Oh my God.
They don't care. As we said, the dopest moment in the movie, he teleports a double-decker bus into a desert. It crashes. That is, people are dying in this movie.
Yeah.
It flips multiple times.
A lot of
And then how are we just not hearing about there's a double-decker bus in
just
the
is
desert?
gone. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
are there fixers? Like, are there Kerry Washingtons that come up behind all the paradoxes and are like cleaning up their messes?
Probably.
I would watch that movie, by the way. That to
Yeah.
me is more exciting.
Yeah. Starting another segment of my own called That Shot, though.
Okay.
Where I would like to bring up either the best or the worst shot in the entire movie. And in this one, when they're walking down into the Coliseum, Rachel Bilson and Hayden Christensen, and for some reason the music goes from like fine to like, and the angle goes Dutch.
Oh my God, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What the fuck
Exactly.
was that?
And it's dark, and both of their faces are
Doug Lyman was like, we gotta get this shot.
Ugh.
But the only way to do it is to have the cameraman fall.
Yes, it goes completely Dutch, which don't ever give me a Dutch angle. I have vertigo. I get migraines. Don't. It's selfish. And it completely doesn't match the tone of the movie.
Very disorienting.
It's like they put in this weird, creepy stairwell sound effect just to hated it. So that's my number one, that shot though. The second one is, oh my God. The shot when Rachel Bilson first gets jumped for the first time and she comes out in the desert and she's like, where am I? And she climbs up the hill and she's like, oh my God, it's so
circle.
much sand. And it's instead of a 360, it's a 355. A perfect missed opportunity for one of the coolest shots of her to be actualized in this circle and it come back to her face and her be like, it's all desert or something. Instead, it starts off, it goes about 3:55 and then it cuts to a different shot. And I'm like, why would you do that?
That was the most comedic like shot that I had seen, because that's what you do. You go on a dune and you're just like, let's see where we're at, and then it's just like a 360
it's
and then
more
nothing goes
sand.
back, and you're
But
just like, oh,
did it not
fuck.
like bother you? I don't know, maybe because like
No, it
Zach
bothered
and
me.
I
It was
have-
very misplaced.
Yeah, like when I'm thinking of shots, it was so nauseating as a watcher to be like, where did we just go? Why did we just cut like that? Yeah. When you could have completely, like, who is this director? I know we said we shouldn't get, like, who's the director? But, like, fuck that guy.
Well, so do you want to know who the director is?
Yes.
Okay, I'm dipping back into my Wikipedia facts.
Thank God. I need a cool down.
So this movie was directed by Doug Liman, who is, by all measures, a fantastic director. Mm-hmm. So back in the 90s, he directed Swingers and Go. But he also directed the first Bourne movie. Mm-hmm. He directed the Tom Cruise movie, Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat.
Okay.
One of the best movies I have ever seen.
That movie kicks
in my
ass.
fucking
Mr.
life.
and Mrs. Smith.
Totally agree.
He's got hits under his belt.
Wait, this is, like, right up there. What's...
I agree.
Then?
So I think it is up there. It's just performances kind of bring it down.
Don't you do that?
I agree.
I think that, like,
Wait,
structure.
so do you dead ass think that like this had the potential to either be like a cult classic or actually like a Twilight trilogy movie, but the acting prevented it? I keep trying to figure out why do so many people like it, but apparently it's 15% on Rotten Tomatoes.
So the fact that it's 15%, I think is weirdly racist. There is no. It's not. I just wanted to throw it in right here. It just, for you to throw 15% at a movie that is so like passable, so like at least like 50 or 60.
Yeah. This is a 65.
This was a 65. It's easy.
Yeah.
I think this might have like predated Rotten Tomatoes. So everybody was just like, oh, I'm just gonna fucking shit on movies.
Do people hate it? Like, is there a strong opinion about it?
That's the thing. Where it's just like, if you do have a strong opinion about it, then sure, 15%. But we all don't. So for it to be 15 is insane.
I don't even have boobs and I got cleavage.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, I don't think that this movie is any like better or worse than like the first Captain America movie.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's like, it's not on par with it, of course, but it's not that much worse.
Or like, they never explain what they are. Like, when I first saw the guy strapped to the tree getting murdered, I was like, oh, they're trying to suck out their jumping juice. And they're going to do some shit.
Instead of a knife, Sam Jackson was going to put a bendy straw on his chest.
And it was like,
now I have the jump power.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, we're going to try and weaponize this. But like, they never really explained that it was a power at all.
Well, it's brought on by trauma at the age of 5.
I think it's just a mutation. Like,
I think it's
people are
like
just born with it.
what's that one superhero movie?
X-Men.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It
And
feels like an X-Men
That's
movie.
where it feels like an X-Men movie. Nightcrawler has the exact same power set, but like, weirdly, Nightcrawler uses a knife because he's a smart person. Why were they doing hand-to-hand combat?
That's also
Get
a
a
question.
gun.
I know
what is wrong with
gun.
you.
I thought he could have gotten
I'm
a
sorry.
gun.
But they could have all gotten guns.
Oh God, there are 8 billion things I want to talk about.
I'm sorry.
First of all, this is
Sorry, I
don't apologize. There's so much here. First of all, this movie came out, I think, 5 years after X2. So to follow the Nightcrawler teleportation scene in X-Men, and to not be able to have a scene in this movie that even comes close to that theatrics.
Yeah.
The car thing
dude,
was cool.
Dude jumping, like, creating more momentum because he kept jumping down the hallway
Wait.
and then he punched him through the wall. I was like, that's fucking sick.
And what about the scene?
That's amazing.
Speaking of special effects, what about the scene when Samuel L. Jackson hairsprays the scar?
I love it. He took that as
Have
axe
you
spray.
ever seen? He threw his whole fucking
His whole shoulder.
He was waiting his whole magician ass life. Yeah.
But yes, after X2, to sort of, I would say, and I say this fondly,
The bar was
copycat.
set for
Yeah.
teleportation.
Yeah.
That was
that they
the
use that in
Quicksilver.
their sizzle to sell this movie. They're like, yo, you know that scene? That's going to be the whole movie.
Yeah.
So you asked about what age they're supposed to be. They are supposed to be younger because actually before this movie starred Hayden Christensen, in 2006, actors Tom Sturridge and Teresa Palmer, who is the lady in Warm Bodies, she's been in a couple things. Ooh. So they were the original leads of this movie. However, fearing the gamble of a $100 million movie with unknowns.
This was $100 million?
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're going to get into that. They said they stopped production, and Tom Rothman, who was a big movie exec, said the lead is 18. Wouldn't the movie be better if he was, say, 25? You have a huge movie here, and I'm quoting this. You have a huge movie here, and adults won't go see an 18-year-old. They'll consider it a children's movie. You could make a movie bigger than that. So they agreed on casting older actors to further the romantic aspects of the film. So Hayden Christensen was brought in to replace just 2 weeks before the beginning of shooting. And then they also brought in Rachel Bilson. And now I'm wondering if they brought in Rachel Bilson because he's like, I only kiss my girl.
Or he was like, I want to fuck this chick. And then they were like, okay, we'll get her, wink, wink. And then now they have a kid together. And he's like, God damn it.
That's crazy. So that's nuts because I feel like what they drastically misunderstood is that America loves watching teenagers in movies. Like more so than any other movie, Twilight, all the big teen movies.
Would you have preferred this if they were like high schoolers?
Absolutely not.
100%.
Absolutely not. Because I think what I like about this movie is that there's a dryness to this
I'd say
film.
that's acting.
And in terms of the acting. And I think if it was too charming, it would take away from the sort of special effects, etc.
Listen,
I don't know, man.
This was shot like To All the Boys I've Ever Loved. Phenomenal.
That is a good idea, though.
Phenomenal movie.
I was thinking like The Fault in Our Stars.
The Fault in Our Stars.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
one of them has like a lot of voiceover. Well, I guess Hayden Christensen does.
And he's talking to someone. At one point he goes, I bet you thought I wasn't going to do that. He says that in the voiceover.
Wait, that is true. He also like stops doing VO.
Yeah,
Like,
I forgot there's VO in
like
the
10
movie.
minutes
fucking 10
in.
minutes into the movie, he
Yeah.
stops narrating.
Yeah.
It would not surprise me if that were a note from the studio of like, hey, I have no reason to like this guy. You need to like get me inside his head. Maybe do some VO up top. Just
Do you want to? Okay, but seriously though,
That's the
think
thing.
about how much he did ADR his lines, right? Like
Yes, there's a lot of ADR.
he ADR'd probably every
Yeah.
single line. And then there was also a lot of voiceover on top of like when he looks away, it would be like, you're right, Millie, I shouldn't have gone in there. And it's like, that was never in there.
Yeah.
So there
Yes.
was even more silence than he already gave.
wow.
Yeah.
With the team thing, I feel like I wanted to see a little more of the like learning my powers. There was a scene in Central Park where he's learning to teleport and he runs into a tree. Genuinely funny. Laughed
Yeah.
out loud.
Yeah.
Like this movie, I think, showed like, no one wants to see the origin story. I do.
I agree
I
with
want to
that.
have some fun with
You know
teleportation.
what's interesting? I actually appreciated that it jumped to him being like,
Jumped.
God damn.
Nice.
I only did it
Jump-
once.
Nice.
That it jumped to him like fucking bachelor life in New York City. I was like, yes, that's what I want to see because my guilty brain was like, I don't want to be a good person, like figure out his powers and have a mentor. I just want to be trash dog.
I need to talk about the ending before we end because, first of all, there's a really long quote from the director, so I'll try and breeze through it. I will start the quote by saying, he said, I'm a contrarian. There's the way everybody does it, and my instant reaction is, I'm gonna do it differently. And so when I was making Jumper, I said that my version of a superhero film
That's right.
would be that the person doesn't become a superhero. They have a superpower, but they use the power to save themselves. And so, okay, I'm gonna stop the quote, but I believe the original ending of this movie was incredibly bleak. And he did not save Rachel Bilson.
I would have rather seen that.
And the studio was like, yo, you cannot do that. And now,
What's the book say? Call your brother.
that's a great, yes,
I got
can
it
we?
out.
So,
Just wondered, that's my segment. Call my brother.
What's he got to say about this?
Yeah.
Doug threw the studio under the bus. He said, I didn't have a plan B and I didn't have a supportive environment to figure out how to problem solve.
Whoa.
So we gave it a more conventional ending and it lost a reason to exist for me.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Wait, the
Okay,
movie?
That makes a ton
that
of
makes
sense.
so much more sense.
Wait, the
Yeah.
movie?
This movie could have been so good. It could have been
Yes.
so fucking good if it was just him saving himself the entire time.
And this happens
That-
in like Act 2 that
It-
Rachel Bilson dies. And then like act 3 is some sort of like dark,
right.
like either him turning into a villain or something.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
This could have been like Joker before Joker sucked.
Yeah. Wait, so I'm sorry. The director literally says that the movie for him was lost?
Yeah.
He like, it just got away from him.
It just had no reason to be. Because the metaphor, there was no arc. There was
good for Doug.
He gets it.
Good for Doug.
Yeah, he was trying to make an anti-superhero movie, and I appreciate that.
Like,
and if that came out in 200008, I would have been. I would have ate that shit up, man. I'd be like, this is incredible.
Pre-Deadpool too.
Which, by the way, this came out in 2008. Screenplay by David S. Goyer, who also in 2008 has story by credit on The Dark Knight.
There it is. There it is.
They were. So he got his.
They were
he was into it.
He got his
but he
bag.
was trying to reinvent the game, and we were robbed. Jumper also revolutionized it.
Because think if we all like Jumper this much, which we all do.
Yeah.
Imagine if it was Dark Knight level of
like
fuckery.
darkness.
Yes. Why
Dark
aren't we
Knight,
redoing this?
I was talking about classics the other night and how like classics like shift media or whatever. And after Dark Knight came out, every superhero wanted to be dark.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't do that. Batman literally watched his parents get killed in front of him. You can't do that or whatever. But Dark Knight was such a moment, and thinking that Jumper could
Whoa.
fuck.
But
Oh my god.
instead, it's like even the movie poster is in a Dutch angle with
that's
blue
why
and
they
orange
cast
neon
Hayden
lights.
Christensen. I'm sorry. Yeah,
No,
the
you're
Dutch,
right.
Dutch angle. but-
Imagine Rachel Bilson and Hayden Christensen thinking they're getting their Dark Knight.
Right. That's
And
why they
this
cast
is
him,
what they got.
because he was like a fucking he killed kids in the last movie he was in.
Yeah.
So of course you would
This
think
is
of him as a dark
classic
person.
example of studio notes
Oh shit.
getting in the way.
And I actually think that Hayden Christensen's perfect for that because he's not likable.
He's not likable.
He's not likable.
Let him not be likable.
And Rachel Bilson is sacrificable. You
Yeah.
know, like in the film,
Damn.
if her character was to die, we'd be like,
Sorry, Rachel,
but
if
that's-
Hayden
but
That's
now-
like the pull quote
now he's about to
of
go
the
off.
fucking
Yeah.
episode. Rachel Bilson is sacrificable.
Okay, here's what we believe at the end is Diane Lane, who again is gorgeous, criminally underused in this movie. We find out that she is a paladin and that she, when he was 5, found out that her son could jump and then left. And she says, quote, she goes, quote, "I'm giving you a head start, son, because I love you." So are we to believe that the unproduced sequel of this movie would be Diane Lane hunting down Hayden Christensen? Because 1, I would absolutely watch the fuck out of that movie. But 2, that makes no fucking sense.
Wait, so that
it makes
means-
no sense to me. I don't understand.
That means Kristen Stewart can't jump because she would have left her too.
Right. That's true.
Oh, that's
So Kristen Stewart
that's
wouldn't-
probably a paladin household. Like they all believe in the paladinism
They're
or
all
whatever.
pagans.
They're all pagans. They're all this
But if
weird
you-
cult.
If you're a paladin
Yeah.
and you love your son and find out that he can jump, you don't think you have a moment where you go, shit, maybe I should stop fucking stabbing these people in the heart.
There's the metaphor you
Yeah.
were looking for before.
Right. There it is. So she also was stopping everybody from finding him.
Right.
All the
In
other
the movie.
in the
Yeah.
movie.
But then at the end,
So
she's like,
running
I'm gonna hunt you
interference.
down.
Yeah. That feels like a remnant of something of a earlier draft because I think he was going to kill somebody or go like on a rampage where she was just like, I have no choice but to hunt you now.
He's supposed to be the villain.
He's supposed to be the villain, is what I'm
So
saying.
you're going full on.
I'm going full on Chronicle. Watch that movie.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's so good. It's okay. It might give you vertigo because
What's it called?
Yeah, you don't want to
Chronicle.
watch it.
I don't think
I'm
you
not
know
watching
footage.
it.
Yeah, it's
Unless I
found
have
footage.
to for this podcast.
Yeah, it's found footage.
It's good though.
It's real good.
Michael B. Jordan's breakout.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in.
Well, outside of The Wire.
Yeah, that's what the wire was.
That was his introduction. This was his
theatrical.
breakout.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But
I mean, am I the only one that is absolutely floored by that revelation?
No,
That's crazy.
no.
It's
I
super
saw
crazy.
it as like divergent a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like I love you so much that she's doing the right thing, being like, I'm not going to stop my life because my little bitch boy's son is a jumper. It's the one thing I hate. Yeah. It's the one thing I've been raised to believe is evil and wrong. No, I'm going to let it live. You're welcome. And like, if it really is like pagan ass, like cult shit, like she really is doing the right thing by being like, wow, you showed up on my doorstep.
Right.
Kristen Stewart, go upstairs in your boots in the house. Did anyone else notice that?
Very weird.
And I'm going to, and let the games begin. Yeah. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I like the dynamic of a mother being forced to chase her son.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a very funny casting choice, though, to have like Diane Lane badass. It's not Charlize Theron hunting down her son. This is like Diane Lane under the Tuscan sun. I am going to murder my child.
If you also haven't seen The Old Guard, please watch it.
I've never seen it.
Oh my God. It just came out on Netflix.
Yeah,
I'm going to be
excellent in it.
No, yes, she is. Charlize Theron is in it.
I love Charlize.
And she's being a badass.
I see her all the time in LA. Like
Really?
a lot.
She's very tall.
She's very tall,
is. She's
and
so
she always
tall.
has
She's
her
like
kids with
5'10".
her.
Whoa.
She's gorgeous.
5'11".
Wait, who does she
And-
have kids with?
She adopted them all.
Oh, fuck.
And she
How is
always
she
has
single?
a bodyguard because she's probably a fucking nightmare.
No.
There's no way you're
she's
that
an angel.
you're
How dare
wrong.
you? She's
I
so
think
sweet.
she's nice. I think she's nice.
She's
You're
a
so
bodyguard?
wrong.
Don't you
She's
ruin
a
this for
bodyguard.
me. She's dope.
Oh, I'd get along with
She's
her.
badass.
But
she's
men,
funny.
are you?
Is
What man can
Charlize
handle
Theron
them?
mean?
Well, I don't think anyone can handle her, not because she's difficult, but
No, I think
because
she's
we
too
don't
successful and too
deserve her.
powerful.
Oh yeah.
She's like a boss bit. Like
Is she
emphasis on
powerful?
bitch. Yes.
What's powerful about her? I mean, other than that, she's just big and fat.
Charlize?
Oh, I thought you were talking about fucking Diane Lane. I thought you were talking about Diane Lane. I was like, why does Diane Lane have a
Does
bodyguard?
anyone have an excuse for why Diane Lane would have a
I
bodyguard?
was like, what the fuck? Like
Again,
why?
under the Tuscan sun.
Oh, okay. Never seen
Literally,
it.
I Googled, is Charlize Theron nice? And it said, the first article, Charlize Theron is not here to make friends. So
Look,
she's
I know
a
women that she's
nightmare.
friends with, and those women are all single, not because, again, that they're like cunts, but they're powerful. Oh, can we not say
Yeah.
cunt on this
You
podcast?
can.
Okay.
It's like, I will
very
stay
much
away
a
from
friend of
it.
me. Okay.
I think we can all say it. Yeah. You want to give that?
Yeah.
I
But
think-
like, yeah, she's too successful. Diane
Yeah.
Lane, very likable.
Yeah, I think Charlize Theron is a workaholic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so she just like works herself to death and she doesn't have time for anything else, which is
Yeah.
fair. Go for it.
And she can do comedy. The movie with Seth Rogen was like so fucking
she was funny.
great.
So
She was
good.
so funny.
So
So why she
good.
adopted her kids. She's like, I can't have
Arrested
these.
Development.
Oh my god, Arrested
Oh,
Development.
I knew it. Okay, so I
Never saw.
I have a friend
Maybe
who was a
Scott.
PA on Long Shot,
Oh, cool.
and she is nice.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's-
He
To
said
her
she was nice.
crew.
Yeah.
And
All
she
right, we can
runs
now
Neon.
confirm
Okay,
Andrew
whatever.
Garfield, gay. Charlize Theron, a sweetheart.
Sweetheart,
Yeah.
nice person.
But single because obviously she's too successful.
Yeah.
Everyone, we all have that problem.
They were saying she was.
That's
he
why
said
I'll
she
never
was-
be Charlize Theron successful because I'm with Jared. I'm too much of a little bitch.
There you go.
If I really wanted it,
Leave them.
Go for it.
Cut that shit out.
yeah.
All right, I think I will give you our final facts for the movie. So this movie, not for lack of trying, again, $100 million, was shot in 20 cities across 14 countries.
It was on location.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
yeah.
the fuck?
Is that-
No.
That was bad then because it all looked green screen.
Yeah.
That's bad. The desert was real.
Well, which also baffled, like, the coordination to have jumping fight scenes through all those different cities. Like, at least you gotta
dog,
go, whoa.
that's what Hollywood's for, literally,
To
is
not
to
fly
make
around.
that
Right.
shit up.
Oh
Yeah,
my
the
God.
Egypt shot's like one
One-
drone shot.
Yeah.
We
It's
don't
not
have to
even a
go.
They didn't
drone.
have
It's like a
drones back
green
then.
screen.
They didn't have drones,
It's
unfortunately.
a green screen, the Egypt one. It's so clearly.
It's very, yeah. So they flew to Tokyo to film a couple scenes.
Yeah, okay.
And one scene required over 30 shoots, as the scene could only be filmed in between traffic light changes.
Shibuya crossing.
And as a result of the director insisting that Hayden Christensen perform his own stunts, the actor injured his hand, split open his ear, and developed a hyperdilated pupil that required hospital care while filming various scenes.
It did look like his eye was fucked up.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
You noticed
There were
that?
like some weird spots or just like, there's like there was like red blotchiness in, on like the side in the whites of his eyes, and I was just like, all right.
How is Garrick the only one who knows
I
that
really
big?
didn't
because I was staring into the soul
Yeah,
of his
you're
eye.
like, look at those poopy ass eyes.
He was trying to find the soul. He's like, it's in there somewhere.
Any emotions or anything besides horny crying.
Well, we unfortunately did not get the Jumper sequels that we all clearly crave. However, there was a spin-off television series.
What?
That was made. It has 2 seasons, I believe.
What?
It's called Impulse, and it is on YouTube Premium. And
Oh my
know that
god!
show was
I
about-
didn't know that was about the What the
That's
fuck?
fucking
I'm
crazy.
so happy.
Wait, have you seen it? I haven't seen it.
No,
I
I've
haven't
seen
seen
ads
it.
for it.
guys, there are 20 episodes
Okay.
waiting for us.
What are we doing? We gotta go.
Oh my god.
Miles, this is your moment, your time to shine.
Okay, yeah.
What makes this movie more than just a guilty pleasure?
I would say I mean, there's too much to say, but in as few words as possible, a movie about teleporting without any of the nonsense.
Yeah.
Cut the frills and enjoy a superhero classic outside of the corporate grip of Marvel or DC. Rachel Bilson, hot off Chuck.
I agree. Absolutely guilty pleasure. It should stay on a free streaming service. The fact that I had to pay $3.99 to watch this is fucking insane. Someone pay the rights to get this IP and boot it. You can hire us to write it.
Yeah. Also agree that it is great to the point where there is a YouTube Premium series about it because they're just like, we left too much on the table. It's a great premise. Teleporting is always cool.
Yeah.
And it opens up a lot of doors.
I came in here very ready to say that this was a bad movie, but I do not think I'm going to be able to get it out of my mind, and I will be haunted by wondering what it could have been. So I am going to say, I don't know that I would recommend you watch it, but if you do, it'll jump its way right into your heart.
Wow, we're done.
Oh
Jump
my
up.
god.
Jump
Oh my
up.
god.
On that.
Thank you guys for watching. This has been My Guilty Pleasures. Rate us 5 stars. Subscribe.